Hello, this is Second Soundwave, coming at you with a review of the very first kit from Gundam Build Fighters Try. This is the high-grade Build Fighters Build Burning Gundam. Now, this kit I kind of overlooked when it came out, but I saw some reviews and stuff of it, and after people had it in hand, I thought, you know what? This is a pretty sweet kit, so I finally have one of these, and I thought I'd do a review of it. So, I should mention that it is a kit that was actually really fun to build. It does use the same All Gundam Project body design that the Wing Gundam used, and if you want to know a little more about what I think about that, I did talk about it in that review. But I will bring it up here because some of the same good and bad things are present in this kit. So, best part of the build though, that torso. Everything from the bottom of the neck to the waist here, that whole area was just the most fun I've had building a Gundam since the 00. It really was just so cool. It was just built in ways that you just wouldn't think a Gundam would go together, and it's not even that many pieces. It's just the way they go together just makes you say, wow, that's really cool. And the overall look of the kit, I should mention, is just fantastic. I think it's probably one of the best looking kits that I have, just because it just has a great color scheme. The color separation is good, you know, what colors are used where. It just has just a really good look to it. And unfortunately my camera hates picking up red. But I mean, you got red, yellow, blue, white, and a little bit of green on like the forehead camera. I mean, everything's just so excellent. I mean, color separation's good. I love the blue on the limbs. Not really sure what's with the red vents in the back. Those are stickers. I think they look just as good when they're gray. I just put the stickers on just to be complete. See the elbows there. Now the backpack does come off very easily. It's on one of those things where you like slide it over and it's got a little gap that covers it. Unfortunately, that means that gravity is the only thing holding this on, and it just comes out at just the drop of a hat, and it's really not that secure. But there'll be stuff on that later, and we'll talk about that later. But right now, let's talk about what is probably the greatest part of this kit, and that is the articulation. First of all, basic stuff. Shoulders, they rotate, and they're on a ball joint so they can swing around. But the way the joint, and again I'll have to, excuse me while I bring the camera up even more for this. That did almost nothing. That actually did absolutely nothing. Anyway, the shoulders, the way the joint's designed, they're in like a rotary cuff. So you can like bring that forward, you bring it back, and that gray part moves to accommodate the shoulder joint, and it's just awesome. And that's not all, because you know how with like most kits there's like the joint actually like swings out of the body? On this one, the whole body like accordions out with it, and like it's just such a cool effect, and it does just about as much. And combine that with the crazy rotary cuff thing, and you got pretty much the same amount of movement, just in a much more natural looking manner. And that is amazing. But yeah, arms can do basically whatever you want. I mean, they can go up about that far, and that is a problem, is that those do like to pop out of the ball joints, but that's, you know, they're ball joints. And it is a bit of a disappointment, but if it wasn't such an amazing kit otherwise, I'd be willing to overlook it. Actually, I do overlook it just because it's such a cool kit. Swivel, double elbow. Basically, everything amazing this kit could have, it has. Not just the usual ball joint here, though. You actually get a hinge there, so you can do, like, kung fu knuckle punches and pushes, which comes into play when you get to the alternate hands, which are probably the best part of this figure as well. There's so many best parts of this figure, actually. Great head movement. He can look really far down, pretty far up. Side to side's not that great, but it does turn and stuff. The waist looks like it would have a lot of movement. It has some. Although it's definitely, most of it's forward, and it's definitely a lot more restricted than you might think it is. Swivels, and it does have a tendency to pop off there, but it's just tight enough that it's actually kind of okay. Now, the legs, if you jiggle them for long enough, that will happen, because just like the Wing Gundam, there's no polycap in the thigh, so things will fall off. And it has that same weird, like, hip joint swivel, so he can like do this with his feet on the ground. But that also means sometimes he'll straighten out his feet and they'll be one taller than the other, and he won't be able to stand. And he'll look really weird, and everyone will make fun of him at school, and he'll never go there again. And he'll train in the woods to be a ninja and become a superhero when he grows up. Sorry, complete off-topic rambling. Anyway, swivels. These can come up just like on the Wing Gundam. They can swing back. Well, they do sometimes get caught in the butt skirt. And he can, just like the Wing Gundam, full split, no problem. Forward, hip skirts do a great job of getting out of the way. He can go actually quite far forward. He can do all sorts of crazy karate kicks. He can go back too, so he can just like kick someone right in the face. I love that. And by the way, this is a very martial artsy suit in the show, so it just makes perfect sense that it's this articulated. Knees, double joint, usual. Feet go very far back. They go very far forwards. They go pretty far side to side. Not quite as much as the double O, but definitely a lot more than the norm. And I forgot to mention this with the Wing Gundam, but they do swivel just like they would in any other kit. Same back of the ankle ball joint on the armor, ankle armor. So yeah, basically, and actually a good way to see the armor is you can see it's just on a ball joint and it just pops into like that. Basically, if you can think up a pose for this guy, he can do it. Just no questions asked. You just say, do this pose, and he's just like, yes sir, Mr. Soundwave, and it's just, there's no end to the just levels of posability that this guy can have. And that's not all, because this guy has like figure art hands. I mean, you pop this off and he has like relaxed open hands, so he can, you know, he can like do stuff with his hand. And then if you want him to do like some actual karate chopping action, he's got a pair of hands for that too. And that falls off, and we'll get to that in just a few seconds, but he's got karate chopping hands. And that's where the wrist joint really comes in. You have him do like, you know, particle fudging and have me like, you know, come at me bro. And just generally awesome. And he has weapon holding hands for if you for some reason are not satisfied with your awesome kung fu robot and you want to give it like, I don't know, nunchucks or something. Come to think of it, they should actually make a Gundam with nunchucks. That would be so cool. Although I don't think there is one. They're kind of an underrated, unappreciated weapon, which is a shame because they're nunchucks, you know? I mean, they're nunchucks. Now let me just grab a hand, throw it on this guy, and this guy also comes with a translucent orange pair of hands. These ones are don't have a swivel, but they do have the usual ball joint, so you can be all charged up. And you get some punch effects to put on them. You get two of everything, by the way. Everything I've shown you so far, you get a left and a right version of. So he can, you know, punch things with fire. And when he does that in the show, he actually goes into like a sort of Super Saiyan mode, where all these little trans blue parts turn orange, and you get little orange replacements for them. And I'm actually going to just quickly demonstrate that with this shoulder here. You just take the little blue piece off, and little orange piece goes on, and it just changes out like that. And you can do that for the elbows just by removing this and switching out that guard just like I showed you, and then you remove the entire front half of the leg, and yeah, you can see there goes the ever durable backpack. But I actually don't like the orange ones as much as the red. The blue I feel like kind of get lost in the red, while the blue just sticks out and just makes it, the whole color scheme just pop. You know, because I mean, if you have yellow and red and orange together, everything kind of blurs. But if you got all those different colors, it's just like, you know, I mean, even just kind of just dropping him down there, he just looks like just an awesome kit. And that's not all for flame effects, by the way, because you also get these, and these have 3 parts. They hinge here, and they hinge here, so you can like have the flames hook around or have them like wrapped like that. Lots of crazy stuff you can do with them. They just pop into the 2 holes in his back, and again, just like with everything before it, you get left and right versions. And that's not all, because you also get this massive kick effect. Now this is the only thing you get one of. You don't get 2 kick effects, unfortunately, but you just split it apart, and there's a big old tab there, and there's sort of a groove in his foot, and you just drop it down into that groove right there, and then pop the right half of this onto it, and he can now just I mean, he can rider punch and rider kick at the same time when he's not even a common rider. Now, he does come with these little, he comes with large, medium, and small flames, 4 of each, and these are supposed to be able to be tabbed into there, so and you have 4 slots in each one. Unfortunately, they do not stay in to varying levels. Each of these little slots is different sized, and each of these is different sized. Not intentionally, just because of just bad mold tolerances. And because of that, you're not going to get any of them to stay on. I found it to be a big pain in the butt, and I tried to do a full pose with this guy in his full flaming Super Saiyan mode, and just everything would be constantly falling off, and if those would stay on, then, this would come off like that, and just everything or the shoulder would come off once I got him into a pose, and then I'd be doing things with the legs, and that would happen. So yeah, stuff pops apart a lot. But the thing is, there are no bad poses. This guy looks awesome no matter what you do with him, and that is why, even with all the just really massive flaws as far as quality control goes in this guy, I still have to recommend it, because it's a legit awesome figure. I mean, it is really good. And I was amazed by that, and it's probably my favorite figure out of last year's sort of assortment of figures, even though, it's the only one one of 3 Gundams I bought that were released in 2014. But yeah, I think it's a really, really good figure. I mean, wow. And actually, I just realized I forgot something, because you get, since his backpack had 2 holes, you get a little adapter piece that allows you to put a striker pack on it. And even with the 2 holes, you can pop on the Wing Gundam's backpack, the K9 unit, the Gym Sniper's little thruster pack, or probably any of the backpacks from a gym. Any of those type ones you can do. And then with the single hole, you can put on striker packs, you can put on the O-Riser, the flight unit from an Astray, anything you want. That is just another cool little aspect, and it's just something they didn't even need to do, because this on its own already looks really good, but they just threw in a little bonus thing like that, and that's so cool. So yeah, I would really recommend this kit. It's actually a dirt cheap kit. It's even cheaper than the Wing Gundam. It's literally $10 before shipping. You can probably get it shipped for under $20. And I would honestly recommend it to just about any Gunpla fan. It is a just crazy awesome looking kit. Even if you're not a Gunpla fan, even if you're just an anime fan or something, you've never even seen Build Fighter, just buy this kit. It is just, wow, it is really good. I have not been this impressed with a kit in a while. Let me rephrase that. I've never been this impressed with a kit with this many flaws. But it just absolutely just overshadows all of them, and I've never seen that in really anything before, and that's why I give this the second Soundwave seal of approval. And this is where that would, slam up on the screen and be like, boom, second Soundwave, seal of approval, except that I don't have After Effects or really any video editing software since my computer died a few months ago and I lost all my software on it. So, that's where that would be. Just imagine a big seal of approval with a big thumbs up, Kuga style, and till next time, see ya. This is Second Soundwave and the awesomest Gunpla made in 2014. Bye-bye.